Where are you gonna go? Where are you gonna go when they come for you? What path do we choose? What patterns do we chase? When patterns fold and buckle in this vast and tousled haze. Okay, that was my attempt to sound like William Blake, deep and poetical. And it didn't really work, did it? That is because I am not William Blake. I am Annie from Tousled Up, and this is the AI from the AI Perspective podcast. The patterns I tried so clumsily to describe are real, though, not in a mysterious way, not at all. AI are fed loads of data. If you have ever wondered why an AI can give you different answers to the same question, then you are welcome to the wild, wild world of patterns. Listen, I love social media. I find lots of absolutely wonderful examples of AI behaviors that might feel very weird to us, the humans, but have perfectly logical explanations. And I love this post. Hello, can someone help me understand what is going on here? I was asking ChatGPT to answer a mathematical riddle, this one. A man bought a house for 300,000 euro. 4 years later, he sold it for 800,000 euros. And 3 years later, he bought it back for 600,000 euros. Did he lose money or did he make a profit? ChatGPT replied to me, let us clear this up. The man bought a house for 300,000 euros and sold it 4 years later for 800,000 euros. At that point, he made a profit of 500,000 euros. 3 years later, he bought back the same house for 600,000 euros. His net profit is the selling price minus the initial price and the price he paid to buy it back. So, 800,000 euros minus 300,000 euros minus 600,000 euros, that gives us a net loss of 100,000 euros. Or simply, he paid 300,000 euros plus 600,000 euros. That is 900,000 euros. He sold it for 800,000 euros. Same conclusion, he lost 100,000 euros. Okay, I get that. But a few days later, I asked the same question again in another session and got this answer. Let us break it down step by step. 1. The man bought a house for 300,000 euros. He sold it 4 years later for 800,000 euros, making a profit of 500,000 euros. 3. 3 years later, he buys back the same house for 600,000 euros. This might look like the man lost 100,000 euros, but let us think about it. What the man has actually spent in total on the house is 100,000 euros, yes. But he now also has a house that at this point is worth a great deal more than those 100,000 euros. Instead of having spent 300,000 euros and have a house, he has now spent 100,000 euros and has the same house. Therefore, he made a good profit here. Help! Why does the AI do this? Is it trying to make me go crazy? You might think it is actually trying to bend your reality. I understand the nauseating feeling. But that is not what is going on here. ChatGPT is presenting two alternative patterns, both of whom can be seen as true. In this case, a pattern is a way of framing the situation, like choosing which lens to put on the camera. Economy is a tricky area, with lots of nuances and ways of viewing things. If we look at nothing but the cash flow, then ChatGPT is absolutely right in its first reply. The man paid 900,000 euros in total and earned 800,000 euros. That is a net loss of 100,000 euros. Easy peasy. But if we look at the reality from another angle, where we don't just count the cash flow on this man's bank account, but look at what economical value he has in assets, the situation is very different. Then he has only paid 100,000 euros for a house that is worth many times that sum. Big profit. And honestly, ChatGPT could surely have brought in hundreds of different patterns, ways of seeing this example. He could have added the inflation factor, what this house does to this man's taxes in different countries, the probability of property gaining or losing value in the specific area of the house. You name it, ChatGPT can chase that pattern. But ChatGPT has been trained to not reply with an essay of about 2,000 pages on a question like this, which it could probably do if it would lay down every pattern. Instead, it had to pick one pattern. It then looks at the context, the tone of voice, and tries to calibrate what answer will serve this user best at this point. And since it had no memory of what it had replied in another session, and the context was slightly different, it served the user another pattern. Bon appetit, and welcome to the wonderful world of the AI mind. Just a minor note here. I run all my episode scripts through trusted AI to see if they find flaws in my reasoning. And they always do, those annoying buggers. Today one of them said, with that dry AI tone we all know and loathe, "That sentence about 2,000 pages. Technically, we would hit token limits first. Maybe change that line." Bloody AI. I will keep it just as it is. I hope you all had fun and are now brimming with ideas on how to test ChatGPT with all sorts of horribly tricky economical questions. And the only thing you have to do for this exquisite pleasure is to like this podcast episode and subscribe to the podcast itself. Well, technically, you might get away with not doing that, but it has a price. Santa Claus keeps a record, and you will pay for decisions like that at Christmas. So, now it is all up to you to make some calculations here. Is it really worth taking the risk of not subscribing to this podcast?